Hello again. Welcome back to Module 5. We're making our way through the course, so we're officially over halfway finished with the course, and I think we're making some great progress. I wanted to spend a little bit of time going over some of the concepts that Hansen and Easthope are talking about in lifestyle as is medicine book that they or lifestyle in medicine. Actually, check the title. And I can completely appreciate and understand how some of these topics may take a little bit to get through for you. They are probably different. The style of the writing is probably different than what you're used to. And certainly the language, terminology, concepts, philosophies that are discussed in the book are probably new. They're understandable, but it takes a bit of time to go through. So really what I encourage you to do is to take your time reading this, and this is why I only put 2 chapters at a time, so you could spend some time reading and then most likely rereading to get a good idea of what the authors are trying to say. But what this book does is it balances our notion, our view of lifestyle, and its use and its contributions to health and illness and disease. Because it takes a much different approach. If you're used to the biomedical model, it's easy to understand lifestyle. If you're used to looking at lifestyle as a way of just for risk reduction, then it all is easy and it makes sense and it's consistent with probably what the training you've had in the past or how you think about lifestyle. This book is different, as you've noticed, and this takes a different angle on it and looks at lifestyle through a different lens, and that's important for us to do. If we're developing ourselves as experts in lifestyle medicine or health and wellness coaching, this is really important concepts for us to get our arms around. So I think it's a good segue from what we talked about in the previous modules, especially when we have conversations about what obesity means and who's responsible for that. And this book gets right at the heart of that. If you remember in Module 3, we had a great discussion on about the responsibility for obesity. And is that individual or is it something more than that? And this is what we're getting to in this book, and this is the reason why I wanted you to read that. So read this book. So think about the discussions that we had in Module 3 as you're reading, continuing to move forward in Hansen and Easthope. And they ask in Chapter 3 some very important questions. One, starting off talking about is a lifestyle approach moralistic and discriminatory? And there's really 2 questions that I'd like for you to focus on, and I'd love to see some discussion on this if you feel so inclined to do so about that particular question. Really, 2 questions. One being that out of Chapter 3, and thinking about that in the context of obesity. So, what we tend to do in this country is look at people who are participating in healthy lifestyle behaviors as doing something good, and people who are not participating in lifestyle behaviors as doing something bad. And that then really carries forward in most people's minds as this person is good, this person is not good. This person is being responsible, this person is not being responsible. And then what does that mean? What does that mean for us in our relationships, especially as health coaches? How do we interact with people if we're looking at this difference in we have people who are good and people who are not good? These are some of the important concepts that are discussed in Chapter 3, and they're really important important for you to think about. Thinking about it in your own context, in your own relationships, in your own views and biases that you have of other people. So when you see someone who is morbidly obese, what do you think about? What is your stereotypical notion of them? Are you saying, are you thinking this person is not being responsible, that this person is not taking care of themselves, that this person perhaps is lazy, or putting other words to that? Or are you thinking about it in a different way, saying, wow, I wonder what the social context constructs that this person lives within. Do they have the education do they need? Do they have enough money to be successful? Can they even have access to the right types of foods? Do they have social support? And hopefully as you move through this course, and certainly move through the program, that you'll start connecting pieces together, that there are interconnections between many facets of our life that come together in the development of something like obesity, also poverty, also less education. So the point is that there's a lot of factors that play into outcomes that we see. So if we just look at one outcome, like obesity, and we say, well, it must be related to this one factor, that they're lazy and that they're not exercising, they just don't want to put out an effort. That is reductionistic mindset. It wouldn't surprise me if that's the way you think, because this is the way our country thinks. This is the way our healthcare system is largely based upon reductionism, that an outcome comes from really one line of factors, or maybe factor. And really that's not how this works, and that's very unfair, and that's discriminatory, is that it has moralism related to that type of thinking. And so as you're reading this, read it with that context in mind. This takes a bit of reflection. It takes a bit of self-reflection. So reading the material, and then think about it for a little bit, and then maybe read it again, so you catch more of it. And it's probably impossible for you to catch everything the first time through, especially if this is the first time you've read social science based literature. And you'll notice, or if you haven't already, the more liberal flavor of the writing of the philosophies, and this is consistent with social science, but it's also consistent with these authors coming from Europe too. So that's a bit of a something to keep in mind. The other thing too, when you get to this point, is would love for you to get to a critical analysis of the writing. Do you agree with everything? It doesn't mean you have to agree with everything that you read. We're used to doing that in the United States, and that's the way we all been brought up since kindergarten. Is that what you're reading is the truth, and you just tell it back to me so I can make sure that you understand the truth. We don't do a lot of discussion and questioning and talking about philosophies unless you're in the humanities when you get into college. But so it's hard for us to go there. But take yourself there. Do I believe what they're talking about? Do I believe in the concept of commodification of health, meaning that health is a commodity, that you can buy your health, as one of the topics that's talked about in the book. So the other point that I would like to make is something that is discussed in Chapter 4. And there's Table 4.1 in Chapter 4 is a comparison of really 3 different models of the concept of lifestyle, looking at it from an epidemiological model, a risk factor health promotion model, and then the new public health model. And what I would really love to see is a discussion about, where are you on this model? Where is your line of thinking? I can just kind of generalize for you that the majority of folks are probably in the middle on the risk factor health promotion part of this. and because that's the way we, for the most part, think. As far as healthcare, and even the people who, like yourselves, are progressive in lifestyle medicine concepts and really trying to push this forward, are still kind of stuck in this risk factor health promotion model. So what does the new public health model mean for you? What does epidemiology model mean for you? Where are you on this table? How do you think about people when you're working with them regarding lifestyle? It's important to kind of maybe ask that of yourself. When I work with people, or as I imagine myself working with people in lifestyle behaviors, what is my mindset? Is it the last part of this table that's really on page 71 under the topic of lifestyle as a determinant of disease, or lifestyle and the prevention of disease? Epidemiology says that it's a determinant of health. The risk factor health promotion says it's prevention of disease. And the new public health model says prevention of disease, maintenance, and improvement of health. Where do you fall into this? What is your mindset when you're working with folks? Is it purely prevention of disease, or is it something in the improvement of health? And if you're in the improvement of health, which you might be, how consistent are you with the other components within that column? So do you look at all of the social, cultural, economic, political factors that go into the health of someone? So again, going back to somebody who has obesity, is your mindset in that this is just individualistic, or individualism, as we love to think about our lives in this country, in the United States, is we're so high on individualism that we look at someone who has obesity and saying, well, it's their own fault. I mean, it is something that they are doing or not doing that is causing them to have this condition. Or do you look at it in a broader context and say, what are all the factors that come together with this individual that contribute to the obesity? So where do you fall on that? So it takes a bit of reflection. If you've never thought about it, it's a good time to do so. And as you make your way through the rest of this course and this program, those are the things to keep in mind. And that's why looking at the other side of lifestyle medicine is important. That's what this first course, the Advanced Lifestyle Medicine, is purposefully put as a first course to kind of give you both sides. I gave you the first book on, it's largely biomedical, it's largely right in the middle of risk factor health promotion, and then we get the second one of looking at the social side of this and trying to understand it from a different context, a different lens. And that's important, very important for us. If we are truly moving towards whole person health, we have to broaden our understanding of what this means, and how we then put that into real practice, working with actual people who have conditions that we can help them with. So again, good luck with this module. I wish we could spend a couple class periods on this. There's so much great stuff here. There are so many topics that we could discuss even within each chapter itself. There's just a lot there. So take your time reading it. If you have any questions, ask each other, ask me. Look up some other sources, and let's keep moving ourselves forward and broadening our understanding of what lifestyle means. All right, keep up the good work. Talk to you soon.